How you doing? Duff here. I am standing in front of my 48 panel ground mount solar array. I've been talking about doing an update on my solar install since I don't believe I've done one since I was actually connected to the grid, which happened back on December 21st. Today is January 22nd. And so we are almost exactly a month with us being connected to the grid. So I thought it'd be a good time for an update. Panels look just like they did a month ago. Not much has changed there. I just wanted to also mention I am back in Florida. I was actually up in Pennsylvania for a few days for a surprise birthday party for my stepmom. It was very cold up there, at least for us. I think the lowest I saw was temps around 18, 19 degrees. And yeah, Cindy and I were freezing our asses off. We came back to warm Southwest Florida, and it just happened to be the same time that we have our coolest or coldest weather in 2 years. Temperatures here this morning were somewhere in the upper 30s, which does not happen very often down here. And when you're not used to that kind of temperature, it felt cold. Oh my God, when I was out doing the chicken maintenance this morning, I was freezing my ass off. My hands were totally numb. So it's been cold. Hence the sweatshirt and jeans, and I even have wool socks on here, believe it or not. So anyways, yeah, that's what's been going on. But the solar panel, let's look at the numbers. Let's see what we've been seeing. And to do that, I can go inside where it's warmer. So as I'm walking back to the house, just to give those of you that aren't that familiar with the way this kind of setup works, I have my panels out there collecting energy. Each panel has its own inverter. Those inverters convert the DC power that each one of those panels connects to AC power, which are combined by a device out there, and they are connected to the house via a buried cable, 2-gauge wire cable that goes along the fence line, cuts across, and comes up here towards the house. The cable comes up this way into this box here. This is a utility disconnect. I can cut off all the power from the panels just by turning this switch off. This goes inside and connects to my circuit breaker box indoors. The other thing that the electric company had to do was install this two-way meter, which shows you how much power has been pumped out to the grid, how much power you've used in total, and what the difference is. So like right now, if we're looking at this, the receive 1371, that means that 1371 kilowatt hours have gone up to the grid. The net, that means 164 kilowatt hours have been used, and the delivered is 1,535 kilowatt hours. That's how much that meter has, or the house has used in total. So I'm going to show you some charts from my electric company website that kind of breaks that down in a more easily understandable way. Okay, I'm recording this for a second time. The first time I went through and recorded this, I was accidentally capturing the wrong screen on my computer like a dumbass. So, all right, so now you should be seeing my monitoring screen from my solar provider, which is Enphase Energy. Basically, this shows you total. This isn't the overview screen. There's other reports and views that you can see. The screen is good. This is today's numbers so far. The data only gets uploaded to the site every 6 hours. So you see today, the system so far has produced 9.76 kilowatt hours, but that was only as of 9:15 this morning. So it's off to a pretty good start, production-wise. It breaks down how much each panel produces, which I think is cool. So you can easily spot if you have a panel that is possibly having a problem, underperforming. This view will tell you immediately what panel that might be, because this is an accurate representation of how the panels are laid out there in the yard. So I can flip between the days and you can see how I did. Yesterday was a very good day, 89.5 kilowatt hours produced. That is either a record or right below the most I've ever made for a day. This bar chart again gives you a very visual way to see the system's output power. You can see right around 10:15 it starts ramping up, and it's cranking at a high level until 3:30 in the afternoon. Almost maxed out right here, because it seems like at the max that this has been producing at this time of year 2,945 watt hours at once. So far, that's what it's been looking like. So like I said, you can just flip through the days. You can see how you've done. It's also interesting to look at the report because you can see large blocks of time to see how you've done. And you can see the lowest that I've had for a day was actually the second day that the system was turned on. It was turned on in the afternoon of the 21st of December. On the 22nd, we had heavy rain all day long, and the system only produced 4.5 kilowatt hours, which is incredible. Because since then, my lowest production on a rainy day has been 34.34 kilowatt hours. But most days I'm 50 and above, and with my best numbers being just under 90 kilowatt hours. You see, I have a bunch of days where I was in the mid 80s, which is great. And in total, this shows that the panels produced 1,900 kilowatt hours since they've been in service, which is good because that's right around what my monthly predicted usage is. So that's pretty good, especially in the winter months when the days are shorter and the sun is lower in the sky, so you have less intensity with the sun. So that's pretty cool. So now if I jump over to my electricity usage page, this is from my electric company, and let's look at my usage. And what are we showing here? I don't need to see that. Okay, there we go. So basically, this is a bar graph. If the bar is above this center line, that means that for that day you consumed more power than you produced. If it's below that line, the opposite is true. You've produced more power than you've used. So you see in the beginning, this is the days since the system has been in service. At the beginning, I was still using more power than I was producing because we had almost a week of rain and then just overcast weather day after day. So it wasn't so good. But once we got to the new year, we started getting more sun. And you'll see that these bar graphs start going negative, where I'm actually creating more power than we're using. In the month of January, we've only had 5 days where we have used more power than we have created. So that's encouraging. And then these last 4 days when we were on vacation, obviously the house was using less power because we weren't here, and also they were bright sunny days. So we have nice big deficits those last 4 days, minus 40 kilowatt hours, minus 39. So all that gets banked. And the way it works, at least with my electric company, is at the end of the year, they look at your usage for the entire year, and if you are negative, they pay you back that credit to wipe the slate clean at the end of the year. So, and it's not, they don't pay you back at the same rate as what you normally pay for electricity, but they do pay you back for that that unused usage. So it'll be interesting to see what that turns out to be. So yeah, things are looking pretty good here as far as my usage goes. All right, so that's really my update. After a month, I am feeling good about my decision to go full house solar. I'm hoping this pattern is going to continue. As the days lengthen, I'll have more appreciable sunshine, more direct sunshine, I'm hoping, and more direct sun power as the sun moves higher and higher in the sky. So it'll be interesting to see how things progress over time, but so far so good. So that's my solar update for now. If you guys found this video interesting, please give it a big thumbs up. If this is your first time visiting the channel, please consider subscribing. Feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, ideas, and thoughts about full house solar below. I have my first solar payment coming up in the beginning of February, so I'm going to be flipping over to paying electric bills to paying solar loans, but my intent is to try to pay that off ahead of time. It's like a 12-year loan. So I'd like to try to get that paid off in 10 years or less if possible. So we'll see if that works out. And then I have to start thinking about doing my 2019 taxes, which are going to be interesting because not only am I going to have the federal tax credit for the solar install, which for 2019 was 30%, you get a tax credit for 30% of whatever the solar system costs off your taxes. And I think they reduced that to 6% in 2020, something like that. So it's still an appreciable savings, but that was one of the reasons I moved when I did in 2019, because I knew that the tax credit was supposed to be slightly reduced from a federal level. And I also have my Tesla federal tax credit from last year as well, which is $3,750. So I have to start figuring out my taxes sooner. It's going to be interesting. We'll see how that all works out. So anyways, that's all I got for you for now. You might be seeing me again not too long. I got another video that I'm going to be working on after I'm done with this one. I'll talk to you again soon. Till next time, Duffman out.